An error in writing that you've probably heard about is the so-called comma splice.
No!
This is really an unfortunate name because, trust me, no commas have been spliced in the making of this video. Instead, the name really refers to a sentence being spliced, and so you might ask, why is this a big deal?
What's the big idea?
Because of the importance of sentence boundaries. As you know, the basic unit in English, written and spoken, is the sentence. So one of the fundamental skills in English is the ability to mark where sentence boundaries begin and where sentence boundaries end. Now, what the heck is a comma splice?
What the?
Well, let's look at it this way. There are three and only three ways to punctuate sentences in English. And the comma splice ain't one of them. Here are the only three ways that you can punctuate sentences in English. Pattern number one, with a period. You know this one well. This is a sentence, period. This is a sentence, period. Okay, we got that one. Pattern two is with an internal period. A what? An internal period. It's also known as a semicolon. This is a sentence, semicolon, internal period. This is a sentence. Now I want you to notice that the only difference between these two, the first punctuation and the second punctuation, is the lack of a capital letter in the second one. Those are the only difference, that is the only difference, between using a period and a semicolon. They both have the same exact function. Okay, pattern number three. A comma and a fanboys. This is a sentence, fanboys, comma coordinating conjunction, and this is a sentence, period. The acronym fanboys stands for and, nor, but, or, yet, and so. You don't have to memorize those. Just know that they are coordinating conjunctions. And also know that any of the fanboys can follow a comma between two sentences. This is a sentence, comma, but this is also a sentence. This is a sentence, comma, yet this is also a sentence. And so on throughout the entire list of fanboys. Okay, back to our original question. What is a comma splice? A comma splice is punctuation that simply does not fit one of these three patterns. As you can see here, this is a sentence, comma, this is also a sentence. To correct that comma splice, you simply change the punctuation to one of the three patterns: a period, a semicolon, or a comma and a coordinating conjunction. Which one should you choose? They're all the same, they all work well. Choose the method that's best for your meaning in your sentence at that given time. So that's it. Remember the three patterns of sentence punctuation, and you're all set. Okay, let's try a little practice. Facial expressions are a form of communication, period. The expressions say as much as our words do, period. Punctuated correctly? Yes, it fits pattern number one. Sentence, period, sentence. Okay, next one. Smartphones are popular. Their long-term health benefits are unknown, period. Punctuated correctly? No. The sentence boundary between the two sentences isn't marked by one of the three patterns. Something must happen between the word popular and the word there. Okay, next example. The common garden snake is harmless to humans, comma, and it also eats rodents, period. Correct? Yes, it is. It fits pattern number three. Sentence, fanboys, sentence, period. Okay, last example. Our national parks are a proud resource, comma, they must be preserved for future generations. Correct? No, that's a comma splice. It has nothing but a comma. It has to fit one of those three patterns. After resource, a semicolon, or a fanboys, comma, and fanboys. Our national parks are a proud resource, comma, and they must be preserved for future generations, period. Okay. Great job. Now we need to add just one variation and we'll be all set. And that variation has to do with the transition. Here's the example. The team lost the game. However, all the parents were proud. You see, when you add a transition word between two sentences, the pattern should be sentence, semicolon, transition, comma, sentence, period. Here's another example. The earth is warming, semicolon. Therefore, comma, the ice caps are shrinking. The two sentences are joined by a transition, therefore. So, there must be a semicolon between them and a comma after the transition. And by the way, this pattern remains the same even if you use a transition phrase instead of the single transition word. For example, the earth is warming, semicolon. As a result, comma, the ice caps are shrinking. Okay, you've got the variation. Now, let's finish off this lesson with just a few practice sentences. Ask yourself, which punctuation mark goes between the two sentences? Now remember, you can't change the sentence. You can only punctuate it. You ready? Okay. Coral reefs are built by tiny organism. Punctuation. These reefs are massive. Okay, you've got two sentences. Note that these is not capitalized. What pattern must you use? A semicolon. Because there's nothing between them except the semicolon, and the next word after the semicolon is not capitalized. Okay, next example. Teenagers love science fiction, punctuation, but many adults love it too. What mark goes there? What pattern do you see? That's right. This is pattern number 3. Sentence, comma, coordinated conjunction, sentence, period. So a comma after fiction and before the conjunction but. Okay, let's take a look at our final example. Scientists do not fully understand dark matter. Punctuation. Moreover, comma, many are afraid of it. What pattern are you going to apply? That's right. Two sentences are joined by a transition word. And when that happens, you place a semicolon between the sentences and then a comma after the transition word or phrase. Okay, thanks very much for watching. I hope this helps with your comma splices. For more instruction on punctuation, check out my playlist covering all the punctuation marks. And I will see you in the next video.